This video is to teach you about our tri-lug adapter for the Grenadier Suppressors. The function of a tri-lug adapter is to recreate the end attachment point on the suppressor to interface with an HK lug that this MP5 has. There are other knockoff brands, PTR, and there's Turkish, and there's a number of different tri-lug platforms out there, but they're all reproducing the HK design. So this is all about attaching to a special 3-lug adapter. Instead of creating a special suppressor, we created a set of 3 parts that interfaces into the end of this that allows any one of our Grenadier suppressors to do what I'm about to show. It's on, just a push and turn, counterclockwise, push and turn clockwise, it's off. The HK 3-lug adapter that is on an MP5 and other clones requires a different interface. So we have designed a 3 titanium part kit. We call it the 3-lug kit that will take a Nielsen device on any one of the Grenadiers and convert it to a suppressor that has a interface to the 3-lug arrangement. So I'm going to show you how that's done. This one requires a little different socket. On the previous things, we've always talked about 7/8 inch 12 point. This is a 1 1/16 12 point socket, and it interfaces to this piece of the kit. So we're going to use the 7/8 inch socket to take our piston assembly, our Nielsen device. This is the way it would come if you buy it. It's going to be on a suppressor, but you're going to want to take the guts out of it and put this in. So I'm going to illustrate that. First, I take the 7/8 inch socket and I remove the piston nut / piston. So I'll get that done. So I'm going to take out the guts, which includes the piston nut, which we're going to set off to the side, the spring, which we're going to retain, the piston we'll set off to the side, and now the trick is, how do we use these parts to reconstruct this configuration? So once the components are removed from the Nielsen device or piston housing, we're going to reuse this spring, but before we do that, you'll notice that there are 3 parts. This is the threaded part that threads down in there. This is a sleeve with a flange, if you will, and it's got an O-ring in it. This O-ring is very important in this particular application, and this is where you need to take special note. If you're going to put it on a machine gun, which is, say, an MP5, and you're shooting 500 rounds, there's a lot of carbon that comes out of that muzzle area and it gets into this. So you're going to want to take this apart a little more frequently than some of the other things. Maybe at max 500 rounds, I would think 400 to 500 rounds, and that's a function of how clean your ammunition is. But you want to take this apart, you want to clean this out. That CLR that we describe in our cleaning video is great for this. You can take all 3 of these components, just soak it in CLR, 2 hours later, take it out, wipe it all down. You don't need to take the O-ring off and get it all wiped down. And then you want to re-lubricate it using the frog lube paste, and you'll want to put that lubricant around this O-ring. So at this particular time, I'm going to take the end piece. You'll see how this slides in here. There's going to be the spring in this area, but I'm going to take it and just drop it down into the bottom of the housing, and you'll see it has a lip that comes out in this center, so it aligns it. Then I'm going to take this spring, put it in, put this piston or flanged piece in here. I'm going to then slide, there's going to be resistance here because that O-ring is going to compress some. So I'm going to take this nut, I'm going to slide it over that, and I'm going to push it down onto this. Now I use my 1 1/16 12 point socket, fits right on this, and I just thread it down or screw it down. You'll hear the spring compress as I do this. And you then have a converted Nielsen device for 3-lug. At the same time now I'm going to take this apart. It's a little bit slippery here, so I'm just going to use a paper towel. I'm going to show you how you can use this same piece, that being the Nielsen device. We're going to get rid of the 3 lug parts. And I have a device called a machine gun rifle spacer here. Now what that's used for is when you have the normal arrangement, which includes the spring around the piston nut, all this screws in here. When you want to put this, take it off of a traditional handgun, which has a slide that moves back and forth, and you want to put it on a brace gun or a machine gun or a rifle, then you unscrew this, you take off the piston nut, you take the spring and set it aside. This is an optional sleeve, a titanium sleeve that you can purchase. It slides over it, replacing the spring, goes down in here, piston nut. You take this, your 7/8 inch socket, and I'm going to screw it down until it bottoms out. Now your Nielsen device is configured for a rifle or a machine gun. You've eliminated the spring, which means now it's going to act like a rifle suppressor where it has no flexing. That's the end of that Nielsen device conversion. I'm going to take the HK 3 lug suppressor and I'm going to slide it over the HK MP5 and I'm going to press it in and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. So that is on there. You can see that takes some force, but it's on there. It's really on there quite well. And then when I want to remove it, I'm going to press it in and I'm going to turn it the opposite direction clockwise and take it off.